Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Welcome back if you're returning. Today I'm just going to be showing you how I got this really colorful, sultry look. If you want to see, make sure you just keep on watching. So the first thing I'm going to do is my eyebrows. I am just brushing them downwards. This is how I get the best shape. So yeah, go in with the spoolie and brush them down first. And then I'm going to outline them using my Sephora brow pencil in the shade Dark Chocolate. I love this. It's a brown color, so it gives me kind of a softer look for my eyebrows. And yeah, I just really like the way that it makes my makeup look. So yeah, this is like my holy grail eyebrow pencil. And I'm going into my MAC Conceal and Correct palette. I'm going into the shade NC50 to go ahead and outline my brows and just clean them up a little bit. And now I'm just going to be blending out that concealer. I like to go in with a big brush. Today I'm using my Real Techniques medium sculpting brush just to go ahead and blend that out into my skin. Now before I do a colorful look, I always like to go in with an eyeshadow primer just so the eyeshadow has somewhere to stick onto. So I'm using my Urban Decay eyeshadow primer. Today I'm just placing that on my lids and I'm blending that in with a Real Technique eyeshadow brush. The palette that I'm going to be using today is from Morphe. It's their 35M Boss Mood palette. And I'm first going in with that pretty pink shade. I'm just going to go ahead and throw that into the crease of my eye. And I'm using a Morphe eyeshadow brush. I'm just putting that in a circular motion, going back and forth and building up the color slowly. So once I've got that pink on, I'm just going in with this pretty dark purple and I'm just going to place that right on top of the pink. I'm just placing that on my lid and I'm doing the same exact thing. I think I'm actually using the same exact brush. I'm just blending that into my my crease with that pink color so they'll mesh together. Now I'm going to be cutting my crease. I am using the ColourPop concealer in the shade Fair. And I'm just using a flat brush. It's a pretty small brush. I find it's easier to draw on the cut crease with a smaller brush because it just gives you a more precise line. Well, at least it gives me a more precise line. And I'm just going to go ahead and pat that right onto my lid using as little as concealer as I possibly can, just because it dries down a lot quicker when you use a little bit. And now on top of that cut crease, I'm going into my Beauty Bakerie's Milk and Honey palette. I'm just placing that color Spoiler Alert right on top of that cut crease, and I'm pretty much dragging that all the way towards the end of that cut crease, and I'll be blending in another color with that as well. Now I'm going back into that Morphe palette and I'm just using that really pretty sparkly purple, and I'm just going to place that at the end of my cut crease so that way I can blend in that purple that I already had on my lid with that shade that I just used from the Milk and Honey palette. And you want to make sure that you blend the two colors together so it has like a gradient effect. It doesn't look like one just stopped and another one started. So now I'm just adding a thin layer of eyeliner. I want to do a small wing. I didn't really want it to be too dramatic. I kind of just wanted it to be big enough to cover the lash band. And before I put on my lashes, I just like to go on and do a light coating of mascara on my eyelashes. I'm using L'Oreal's Telescopic Mascara. And you already know for lashes, I'm using some Bink lashes. These are in the style Winnie. I adore these lashes. They just give any look life. Like, they never fail me. So I will always wear bink wink lashes. They are my favorite lashes, period. So to moisturize my face, I'm using my Tarte Drink of H2O moisturizer. I'm just putting it all over my face before I use any primer or foundation, so I get an extra radiant glow. And now I'm just going in with my Benefits Professional Primer to just smooth out all my imperfections, fill in some pores, and just make my makeup look extra flawless. So for foundation, today I'm using my Fenty Beauty foundation. I'm in the shade 440. I'm just going to be using my Morphe foundation brush to go ahead and apply that. To conceal, I'm going in with my Fenty Beauty concealer in the shade 420. And of course, to blend out that concealer, I'm just using a damp beauty blender, and I'm just pressing that into my skin and making it blend as seamlessly as possible. Now to set the concealer in place, I'm just going in with my Fenty Beauty setting powder in the shade Honey. I love this powder. It's the perfect color. It's translucent, so it really doesn't have a color, but it just, I don't know, it kind of adds like some warmth back onto where I just placed that concealer. And it's really finely milled, so it just really helps to smooth out my skin and just make my pores look non-existent. So 2 thumbs up for this powder. Now to set my entire face, I'm just going in with my handy dandy MAC Skin Finish Mineralizing Powder in the shade Deep Darkest. This just helps to mesh all of my makeup into one another. And yeah, it just keeps my makeup in place for the entire duration of the day. You all know I love this powder, so I'm not even going to go on a tangent. Just know this is my holy grail. Another fave of mine is Fenty's new bronzer. I am in the shade Mocha Mami. I love it. It's just the perfect like sun-kissed chocolate look that it gives me. So I'm just putting that all around the perimeter of my face. And then I'm also using that bronzer to go around and just carve out my nose. For blush, I'm going to be using MAC's Extra Dimension blush in the shade Rosy Cheeks. Such a pretty pink color. I'm just dusting that all over my cheeks. For today's highlight, I'm using a Becca highlighter. It's this beautiful like lavender highlight. It's called, well, the shade is called Lilac Geode. It's so pretty and it just complements the purple on my eyes so well. This highlight is super pigmented. Like, you see how much I accidentally just put on? It's so pretty, so I ended up having to like blend it down to tone it down a little bit. For this highlight, a little bit really goes a long way, so don't get too heavy-handed because it can go crazy real quick. So here I'm just using my beauty blender to kind of press that into my skin just so I can kind of tone it down just a little bit, make it look a little bit more natural. Now I'm just lining my lips. I'm using a Sephora lip liner in the shade Molasses. It's a pretty brown color. And for lip gloss, I'm using a MAC lip gloss. This is from the Aaliyah collection. This is her 1 in a million lip gloss. Such a beautiful, dark, deep purple color. Just amazing. I love this lip gloss. And now to set my whole face, I'm just using my MAC Fix It Plus spray. And this is the finished look. I really like how it came out. It wasn't too hard to do. So if you guys like this look, make sure that you give this video a thumbs up. Also leave me comments so I can know what type of content to keep posting. And if you like the videos that I'm uploading, make sure you hit that subscribe button. You guys help me get my subscribers up. Thank you so much for watching.